I am filming this episode with a little digital camera just for fun, and I am excited to see like what it looks like. I might really regret it, but it's okay. Today, I wanted to talk about the notion that learning through experience at the end of the day is always going to be more impactful than trying to collect knowledge all of the time. I used to just read so many books and watch so many podcasts because I wanted to understand and I wanted to gain more knowledge and I wanted to know like how to better myself and I wanted to know like what opinions I should hold and how I should view life. And that got me to this way of being where I thought that I knew a lot. I thought that I had these perception shifts. I thought that I like understood the world in this new way and like I'm smart and I know what I'm talking about. And honestly, there's a difference between lived experience and lived lessons and the knowledge you like logically understand. And I feel like for a long time, I thought I knew what I was talking about because I read it in a book or like I heard a podcast about it. But it wasn't until I actually lived out certain experiences and certain lessons where it like viscerally changed like my perceptions and my concept of self. And like these real life experiences actually made me more knowledgeable and actually expanded my awareness and actually changed a lot about my opinions and my view of the world and myself. And basically what I'm trying to get at is it didn't really matter how many books and podcasts I listened to or read. At the end of the day, nothing compares to real life experiences. Nothing compares to the lessons that life teaches you. Nothing is going to compare to the physical, real lived experiences that force you to change your perspective or change your approach or change the way you view yourself. And I just find this to be so important now. Like, I make it a point to not read too many like self-help books and not listen to too many podcasts. And maybe because like I really overdid it so much, but genuinely because I start to think I know shit. I start to think that I know what I'm talking about when I actually have no clue. There's a difference between you going through life and learning firsthand and even studying it in school. I feel like it's a different experience because like as people like in this new age like self-growth like era where everyone's posting about this shit on TikTok and on podcasts, like you can be consuming so much of it thinking that you know what you're talking about and you actually know nothing. You're just trying to regurgitate and like copy. I don't want to say copy, but like change your worldviews too fast before your real knowledge and real experience has caught up with this newfound information. And it's really easy to do that when you're constantly consuming and consuming and consuming and consuming, and you're not giving space for real life to actually show you what that knowledge looks like when it's actually like viscerally digested. So like now, like I don't want to read any more fucking books. I don't want to watch any more fucking podcasts. I don't want to like, I don't want to search out for like information because I want to be able to experience that lived knowledge and that lived lesson in real life. Because the way you come to understand things when you have like viscerally experienced it and you have viscerally went through a certain situation that calls for new knowledge to be digested, it's like a completely different relationship with that new information, with the new wisdom, with the new outlook. If all you do is read other people's thoughts and you're trying to conceptualize the world through preconceived information, I don't really feel like you're giving yourself room to experience life in your first person and your interpretation, and let yourself naturally learn a lot of the things we learn while reading books. And again, this is not to say that reading books is bad and trying to better yourself and listen to podcasts is bad. Like I did it, but like what I'm saying is I think I did it so fucking much to the point where I'm like thinking I know more than I do, and I'm just like regurgitating whatever I'm reading. There's a difference between logically understanding something and viscerally knowing something. You don't viscerally know something until you have gone through an experience that calls for you to learn that lesson. And I think for a long time, I was reading these books and listening to these podcasts so I could like beat certain lessons. Like I'm like, I don't want to experience that. So let me just like learn and learn and learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. And like maybe like I'll already know all of the information. Dude, all that did is get me like a distorted, like fragmented view of like life. Like I thought I knew what I was talking about. I actually didn't know what I was talking about because I was just regurgitating whatever the next podcast or book said. I could maybe logically understand it, but I never was allowing myself to go through life and be open to life's experiences so that I could understand knowledge at like a foundational level. I felt like I just kept reading shit and then like pretending like I knew all these things, and like I can't be the only one that's done that. And like that's why when I realized, because at a certain point I realized, oh shit, like I understood these things logically, but now I know what it feels like to understand these things at a personal, visceral level. Like now, after I went through like things in real life, I'm like, oh shit, like now I get what that author was saying. Now I get what that podcast was talking about. And like now I have like a more well-rounded understanding of a certain topic. And I feel like that's why I now try not to beat out what life wants to just teach me viscerally. Like I don't want to constantly learn through other people and constantly like read self-help books. Like I would rather like let life like let me go through certain experiences to the point where like I begin to understand new information at an internal level, whereas before I was just like podcast, book, regurgitating everything I was learning, thinking like I knew all the things, and I actually didn't. Like I said, you can understand things at a logical level, but there's a difference between understanding things at a logical level and understanding things at a visceral level. And again, this is not to say that there's anything bad with seeking out information. And like that's like the nuance of this. Like how are you necessarily supposed to come to newfound truths if you don't even know what's possible? And that's why we read these books, because these books and these self-help books and these podcasts like show us different interpretations of life. They show us newfound knowledge. They show us different ways to perceive things and why we feel the way we do and why we act the way we did. But I just feel like too much of that, trying to seek out information without viscerally living it, I just don't think you're giving yourself enough of reality to be able to genuinely process the information. You're just like cognitively understanding it, which is a start and maybe something I could have admitted before, but I feel like I was just like so excited about the fact that I was like understanding so many things, and I thought I knew what I was talking about, but I feel like I just understood it cognitively. I didn't really understand it at a visceral level, and that's because like real life experience is slow. Like it takes time to learn big concepts and you're letting life teach you, but what I feel like it's more embedded than anything you could read in a book. And I felt like I was trying to change my life and like change myself by reading all these books and reading and reading and reading and reading. And like I wasn't allowing myself to change by just experiencing what life wanted to show me. And I feel like now that I've tried to like readjust and not consistently always get information from books and podcasts, I'm finally leaving room for my own thoughts and my own interpretations. Is it slower when it comes to like getting to certain conclusions or like mindset shifts or understandings of certain things? Yeah, it's slower, but for once I feel like I'm just being honest with where I'm at, and like I don't pretend to know what I'm talking about anymore, and like whatever knowledge I'm at, I'm okay with. Like I think before I just really wanted to, and like anyone would, like we are like what's it called, always wanting to know more and learn more about the mind and the brain and why we are the way we are. So we read all these books and we listen to all these podcasts and we let these books and podcasts guide us. But when you don't have like a lived understanding of why you're following any of these things, it's just words and it's just information. It starts to feel very artificial. Like I said, it's not bad information, but I feel like I went too far deep into like following it and like believing in it, but I've never really understood what it was from the inside. And because I just kept consuming knowledge, I just wasn't letting myself live. I'm like, I don't want to learn from experience anymore. Like I just want to like consume all this knowledge so like I can just understand it by listening to this podcast. And like when I've understand the same topics that I listen to from a podcast, but in real life, the real life experiences just alter my brain chemistry so much more than a podcast ever will. Like real life experiences, real life reflection, real life understanding of your thoughts and your new interpretations, and you trying to reach new perceptions of the world by yourself and not constantly needing to understand, like needing to use other people to just conceptualize the world. Like it just feels like I finally have a little bit more access to my own mind instead of constantly copying everything in books, and like it just feels more real to me. And I just really feel like the experiences we have in real life and the lessons we learn through those real life experiences will hit a lot harder than anything we read in a book. And like unfortunately, like that's the reality. Like you can read so many books and listen to so many podcasts and try to understand things, you know, from sources, but at the end of the day, letting life teach you experiences and being open to the lesson in real time is always gonna just expand your mind way more than any chapter you can read from a book. And I just wanted to like make this video talking about my perceptions on this, because in a world full of so many videos and social media and blogs and readings and articles and books of people talking about self-growth, the mind telling you how to live, telling you how to be, what to do and what not to do, how you should perceive the world, it just rips away the beauty of learning through day-to-day living, day-to-day life, and like allowing yourself to be a student to life, like allowing yourself to know that like, you don't know everything, and it's okay that you don't know everything, but letting life teach you instead of constantly needing to consume all these books just to feel like you're smart. And I mean, that's what I was in for a while. I was just trying to read all these books and I try to understand all these things just to feel like I knew what I was talking about. And even then, even if I knew it logically, I wasn't letting life teach me in experience and in physical, visceral ways. And ironically, after I began letting life teach me, I began to really comprehend the knowledge I was reading in books, but I was never really going to understand it viscerally by consistently always reading and like just fucking swallowing all of these like knowledges from all of these authors. Like, for once, I'm finally letting myself try to think on my own, go through life, letting life guide me and teach me and learning lessons along the way. And I'm not constantly fiending for new information all the time. Definitely taking a break from constantly consuming more information. Like, I think there's definitely a beauty in letting yourself learn at life's pace, and that's what I've decided to do lately. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys in the next episode.